YouTube? It's RSMario here, aka the real Super Mario, bringing you another episode of my wildly unpopular internet show, Fake Leak Theater. Alright, Fake Leak Theater, we up in the building. Alright, so we got a whole bunch of Pokemon fake leaks for you today. You know what I'm saying? We have one about, that's kind of referencing Pokemon Stadium, which I find to be kind of interesting. I actually did a whole video on a possibility of Pokemon Stadium or a Pokemon Stadium-like game coming back or being made. So maybe, again, these leaks are usually fake, but maybe there's like a kernel of truth here. You know what I'm saying? We also have somebody talking about Generation 10. Gen 10 in the building, so that's going to be interesting, as well as a pretty popular Scarlet and Violet leak that has been making the rounds around Twitter. So we're going to talk about all that today. Of course, if you want to continue getting videos like this from me, if you want to continue getting anime videos, Fire Emblem videos, like the coverage I'm doing on Fire Emblem Engage, if you want to continue to get all that content as well as all my Pokemon content, follow, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, do all that good stuff that YouTube requires you to do to continue getting videos from me, as well as follow me at twitter.com, twitter.com/rsmario128. Like the video tweet, share the video tweet, and I will shout you out at the end of the episode. As well as follow me at the Lootbox Hero, also on YouTube. That's my second channel, where we talk about everything else that's not Nintendo and anime, as well as subscribe to this channel because 80% of you guys are not subscribed. So go ahead, man. You've been watching. I know a lot of people come back. I can see y'all come back. You know, every week. You know what I'm saying? Come back and check me out. Hit the subscribe button so that way you'll always be notified when I put out a video. Let's get into these fake leaks. Alright, so we're going to start off here with Pokemon Stadium. So we got a leak about the some of the projects that Pokemon is going to be doing for 2023. So one of them is Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 will come up soon with online feature. Not features, so I guess just one online feature. Only rental Pokemon will be usable. So basically, if you've never played Pokemon Stadium, because I mean, I look at the demographics on this channel, and most of us are 18 through 25, but, you know, there's probably some youngins here that's never played Stadium. Pokemon Stadium was a game where you could take your Pokemon from Red, Blue, Yellow, and I think Pokemon Stadium 2 actually had Gold, Silver, Crystal Pokemon on it. And you could take them and you could send them over to Pokemon Stadium and play on the Nintendo 64 and battle against your friends. And then they had like a tournament mode or a battle mode on there where you battle up against a bunch of AI opponents that had a bunch of crazy Pokemon, and sometimes you get cheated. And honestly, sometimes it did. If I'm like, yo, sometimes I feel like they cheat. Like, this man's got like 3 crits in a row. Like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? And but there's also a thing called rental Pokemon. So if you wanted to play with a friend that didn't have the game, then you would get rental Pokemon, just these pre-made Pokemon that are already on the game. They're usually like level 50 or level 100, depending on what type of battle you're doing. And you would just pick a bunch of rental Pokemon, and then you would just battle. You know what I'm saying? And just do like that, you know. So this honestly is not a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? Because this way, there's no way for you to get your Pokemon to Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? So just being able to use a bunch of rental Pokemon, you know, would work. You know what I'm saying? It would seem kind of shallow, but you still get the experience of Pokemon Stadium. Now, of course, if they were able to somehow bring home integration into that, you know, you could bring in all of your Generation 1 or 2 Pokemon, but I think that would be a bit much because of models and whatnot. You know, it's a whole bunch of back-end technical stuff, but the rental thing, that would be pretty good. The other thing is they need to have the mini games. Bro, I've been saying this for so many years, but the Stadium mini games are freaking money. Alright, because those mini games are freaking awesome, man. Like the one with the sushi and the one with the Skythers cutting the logs. And like, yo, the Stadium mini games are awesome. Alright. honestly, that they can be a game all on their own. If you just brought out like a Wii Sports like type of thing that just was Pokemon Stadium mini games, I bet you that would sell money. It will be straight money. Next up, we have Scarlet and Violet DLC. It will be about South Kalos, and the DLC will focus on AZ and the connection between Megas and Paradox forms. To end it all, 3DS HD remakes will be available for the price of 45 euros. So, it's been a while since I had to do exchange rates, but I want to say that that's about $50, maybe a little bit less, which is kind of crazy. Only X and Y plan. So basically, a X and Y HD remake. Now that right there is cap. Because why would they do so essentially it would be kind of like BDSP. You know what I'm saying? And they sold BDSP for $60. So, just putting that into a thing. So they wouldn't discount the game like that. The other thing is why X and Y? Alright, because the next technical ideal remakes would be Generation 5. But I don't know. Take that one with a grain of salt, Alright, so now we have these big ones. So these are the big ones that have been circulating through Pokemon Twitter. I think I saw Soul Silver Art talk about this, and a couple people have talked about this. So of course it's time for me to scoop it up myself. So it says Magenta Mirage DLC. So the DLC is called Magenta Mirage. Only one DLC this time, but it's bigger than both Sword and Shield DLCs. Comes out in November of this year. Also, the code name for the third legendary. He just says also the code name. Oh, he doesn't say. Oh, so Magenta Mirage is the code name. Okay, I get it. It lives in a second crater, which is what the top right area of the map is, separated by two tribes. One is an ancient looking tribe, and the other one is futuristic looking, covered in terra crystals, with some Pokemon and people having been stuck in them for hundreds of years. The tribes live in fear as they can't escape the crater. Magenta Mirage has an ability to counter both Koraidon and Miraidon's abilities. It summons Psychic Terrain and Rain, because each one of them does terrain and the other one does weather. So this does both. That's kind of broken. I ain't gonna lie. His name is Meowmew. It's a water dragon type. Okay, water dragon is always good. We throwing back to Palkia out this piece. It realizes people's ambitions and materializes them to keep people believing in it. It uses the energy of belief to stay alive, constantly feeding off people's dreams, eventually driving them insane. So this thing is Cthulhu. It's literally Cthulhu the Pokemon. Okay, that's a little bit dark for a Pokemon game. It says Heath has a science fiction fanfic and came in contact with it, eventually creating the Paradox Pokemon we see now. Inspired Sada and Turo to create the time machine, which was powered by Terra Crystals. The Paradox Pokemon did come from the past/future, but that was changed by Heath's desire to see Pokemon from another time. Terra Crystals / shards, whatever you want to call them, are parts of Mimikyu that materialize with every ambition that comes true. The plot is to stop a mind-controlled Heath who uses Mimikyu before it consumes the region with Terra Crystals. Okay. That actually don't sound bad. It don't sound bad at all, but it does sound very fan-fiction-y though. Features in Pokemon. So we have Paradox Pokemon and new Pokemon. So you have Paradox Suicune called Storming Waters. It's a water ghost type. That's not bad. We have Virizion, which is Iron Blade, which is a psychic grass type, which also not bad. You know, nice throwback to Celebi. Paradox Delphox, Wicked Mirage. It's Fire Fairy. Delphox. Oh, Delphox. Well, if they make it look better, it won't be bad. Paradox Chestnut is Iron Shelter, Grass Steel type. Paradox Greninja, Rogue Warrior. It's Dark Fighting type. Ooh, a fighting Dark Greninja. Okay, that sound kind of lit. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Another Paradox Greninja, Iron Ninja's Water Poison type, which is interesting because there is a poison Terra type Greninja that's gonna be the next 7-star raid. So maybe somebody heard about that and they decided to put that into their little fantasy league thing, or maybe this could have a kernel of truth to it. We have Paradox Kilowattrel, Thunderstorm, which is going to be a water electric type, which, okay. Paradox Glamora, that sounds kind of cool, I ain't gonna lie, because Glamora is a sleeper Pokemon, yo. Like, Glamora might not look like a whole bunch, but Glamora is actually a pretty good Pokemon. I've been using it on Showdown, and I'm like, yo, I dig this thing. Alright, I like Glamora. A Poison Steel type, that doesn't sound too bad. It'll be hella weak against Earthquake, though. But, you know, of course, Mimaru has already been explained. Then it's Reflect Chime, which is Chimecho evolution, which Chimecho does not have an evolution. He has a pre-evo. Okay, so a Psychic Steel type. Alright, and then Tarampura is a Galvantula Bug Electric. Okay. Oh, Garvantula evolution. Okay, that's kind of cool. More customization options. Laboratory that allows you to change EVs. Ooh, we can change Terra types. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And level of your Pokemon for LP. Dual Terra type shards. Only some Pokemon can use them. Starters, legendaries, and some Gen 9, etc. These crystals have set types. You can't choose what type you want. A dual Terra type crystal would actually be really interesting. I don't know how they would work that, but that would be pretty cool. Let's see. Then it says, just like Sword and Shield DLC, you can battle against legendaries and Terra raids. These legendaries will be found in a cavern covered with Terra crystals. Interacting with the crystals will start a raid with one of the legendaries at random. Okay, so far that sounds way too good to be true. Alright, I'm gonna be honest. That sounds really good. Alright, now if they were to just do one DLC, like, that will probably be, because that's a lot of content. Alright, that's a whole lot of content. Especially talking about DLC and Pokemon, that's a whole lot of content. But yeah, it sounds way too good to be true, though. I'm not gonna lie. Next thing we got here is Generation 10. So we already beyond. We ain't talking about remakes. We ain't talking about side games. We ain't talking about spin-offs. Ain't no freaking Detective Pikachu 2. We all the way in the future, cuz. Generation 10, cuz. You know, so of course it says the next Pokemon game will be introduced. Will introduce brand new type, Time, which, yeah, you already killed it right there. Whenever people start talking about new types, cause see, I think I've explained this before. Types are created to balance the game. So something like Fairy type was created because Dragon type had been powerful for like 8 generations at that point. It had been like roughly the most powerful type. So they brought in Fairy type to balance that out, and also to give Steel and Poison some new use. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I mean, they're not the best typings. But now that Fairy is a thing and Fairy can stop dragons, Steel and Poison now have a better use because they can stop fairies. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that there's a typing that really needs to get checked like dragons did. No type really needs to get checked now. Everybody has something that kind of walls or counters it. You know what I'm saying? So bring in a new typing. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know. So the new typing is time. This type will be super effective against psychic and dragon types, but weak against steel and dark types. So why would steel resist? Well, I guess with stainless steel, it kind of can resist time for a while, but okay. The region in the next Pokemon game will be based off of ancient Egypt, with pyramids and tombs serving as key locations for battles and exploration. That actually sounds kind of cool. Like, I've always kind of wanted to know what they could possibly do with Africa as far as a Pokemon region, especially because of Asia's affinity for black people. Let's just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? It would be interesting to see how they try to do a black Pokemon region, or a Pokemon region based off of a black country. You know, that will be interesting. The starter Pokemon for the next game will be a fox-like creature with fire, grass, and water typing. So he's got all three types, or just three foxes? Because that sounds broken. Its final evolution will be a powerful elemental spirit. So it's just one starter? Or is this one of three? I feel like that's one of three starters, but it doesn't make sense. The game will introduce a new fusion mechanic. Oh God, I had a feeling this was coming. Allowing players to merge two Pokemon together to create a unique and powerful creature. Yeah, that's dead. That's super dead. All right, one, I hate the idea of Pokemon fusion. At this point, you just freaking Digimon at this point, okay? All right. I mean, I know we do have Pokemon fusion like the Legends in Generation 5, but that's a unique case because they're box legendaries, and Gen 5 had a lot of unique stuff in it, but just regular casual Pokemon fusion, I think that's broken. The other thing is, do you know how much work that would be to make that many there are literally thousands of possible combinations of Pokemon that you can make. All right, because again, you have 1,000+ Pokemon, and then the you know how many combinations they would have to make. You know that because they have to make those models. You know what I'm saying? And like, no, that's way too much work. Like freaking, they're not gonna do that. Legendary Pokemon from previous games will return, but with new designs, abilities. These legendary Pokemon will also be catchable in the game's post-game content. The next game will feature the next game. We already be. Oh, we're talking about the same game. Just okay, I get it. The next game will feature a new battle type called Grand Battles, which would allow you to use up to 6 Pokemon on each team and allow players to switch out Pokemon mid-battle. That's a Pokemon battle, sir. The game will also introduce a new Gym Leader Academy feature where players can create their own gym and design their own challenges for other players to compete in. That sounds bananas. The game will also feature an online multiplayer mode called Pokemon World Cup, where players can form teams and compete in tournaments for awards and bragging rights. Okay, that sounds good. I don't think they would do that. The game will also introduce a new type of Pokemon called Shapeshifters, which will transform into any Pokemon they defeat in battle. These Pokemon will be incredibly rare and powerful. So basically Dittos. Like roided up freaking Dittos. I don't know about that one there, buddy. So far this looks really good. But again, it's too good to be true. But yeah, the fusion thing, nah, that's dead on arrival, bro. So tell me what you think down in the comments down below. Do you think these are real? Do you think these are fake? Do you like the idea of fusion Pokemon? If so, I can agree to disagree with you. But that's about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, people, keep it real.